Dub Nation, after the final buzzer. This is where you come for instant post-game reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is Dub's OT.
Can't wait.
With John Dickinson.
Hey, JD, what you up to, sugar? Long time no talk to.
On KNBR 104.5 and 680. Streaming live at KNBR.com and on the KNBR app.
Wiggins on Kuzma, shot clock at 3. Wiggs with a step back 3. Ball game over. We welcome you in. Warriors win it 122-114. That is the final. It is Dubs OT with JD here on the Sports Leader, 808 KNBR, 415-808-5627. A little bit of a later start here due to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, as heard here on KNBR, with the Commanders knocking out the number 1 seed Lions. And so we hit the airwaves here, just about 15 minutes or so after the Warriors took care of the Wizards in rather unimpressive fashion and had Stephen Curry and Draymond Green leave the game due to injuries. We'll get you updates on both Steph and Draymond here coming up in pretty short order. But the phone lines are open, 808 KNBR, 415-808-5627. The Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line is open as well. What's going on here at Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City? We got Mike and Julia behind the bar here. And what's your name, brother? Matt. Nice to meet you, man. Matt, we got Matt who's chiming in, saying hi with a little KNBR chant and saying hi here. So yeah, if you're in the area, stop by, say hi. It is a big time community here on Dubs OT. What's going on, everybody, out in the YouTube chat? Kind of a strange night at Chase. It was the Jordan Poole, Steph Curry show. Jordan Poole looked like he might go for 50 in the game, and the Warriors played really uninspired basketball for a majority of this game. Another one of those games that the Warriors win, and it's better than the alternative, which is had they dropped it, but they just were not engaged defensively really at all. It was a big game. It felt like Jordan Poole, once Draymond went out early with the calf injury, felt like Jordan Poole knew, hey, nobody was going to be preventing him from being able to look to get his points in this one, and he ended up going off for 38, had a huge first half, 23. Hey, what's going on, man? What's your name? Robert, appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. You want to say hi here on the camera real quick? When people come by, I like to say hi. Robert, come on over. Appreciate you. Thank you. From Modesto. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by here. That's 2, right? I'm not BSing anybody. When I say stop by and say hi, stop by and say hi. Absolutely. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. 2 for 2 here in the first couple of minutes as we get things going with Kyle Harr at our San Francisco studios. So, let's get everybody the quick update on Draymond and on Stephen Curry here in the first part of the show. And Draymond's going to get an MRI tomorrow. That per Steve Kerr in the post-game press conference in the building you see behind me. Stephen Curry told Steve he doesn't think the ankle twist, it was a left ankle twist, as Curry was really trying to walk it off and work it out in the final couple of minutes of the game. 1:05 to go. Warriors basically with the game in hand, and then Steph Curry rolls his ankle. I mean, it's just another indictment of how this Warriors team this season just cannot have nice things. I mean, even on a night where they get the most unimpressive of unimpressive, just kind of ho-hum, everybody was watching football kind of a games. And then you lose Steph Curry potentially, although it sounds like, and you never know with an ankle until the morning after, and does it swell up, does it not? And Steph obviously knows his ankles better than probably anybody, knows a body part that they've had trouble with in terms of injuries throughout the course of a professional career. So you'll take Stephen Curry's word on the fact that he doesn't believe it to be too serious. The concerning factor is Draymond Green in a big way. Left calf injury. This has been something that's popped up a little bit. He pulled up early in this one. And, 3 minutes into the game, it was Jordan Poole 5 and the Warriors 5. And Guy Santos subs in for a hobbled Draymond Green, who went to the bench and then ended up going right to the locker room. And the Warriors very quickly ruled him out as they sleptwalked through the first quarter of this one, found themselves down not only at the end of the first 29-25, but down 60-53 at the half. So the news on Draymond, not quite as optimistic, at least initially, although no firm conversation or decision as to the severity of both of those injuries. But big picture versus small scope on a night like tonight here on KNBR, I think the big picture is probably the more important takeaway, because the Warriors, as we talked about a lot this morning on Just Dubs, they are at a point where it feels like this homestand and home stretch, really, because they have the one game in Sacramento, is make or break for their entire season, not only in what this group can become. And I'm on record, and again, tonight I think falls more in the unimpressive category as to the big picture. Like tonight tells you that this team, as it's currently constituted, is not a playoff team. This is another, even in a victory, this is the game. This is the kind of game that tells you this team does not have what it takes. They very easily could have lost this game to the Wizards, who had one road win on the season, who have 6 wins total. Warriors, again, just a sloppy start. The Warriors not engaged defensively in the game. They did get some pretty good offensive performances from Dennis Schroeder. I think his best offensive performance as a Warrior, 20 points on 7 of 14 shooting, hitting 50% of his shots and a couple of threes, was in command. Stephen Curry, although 4 of 14 from 3, was hitting from 2 in this one, and ends up with 26 points. The bench did their thing, and the Warriors, a rare opportunity for them to dominate in the paint. 58-24, the Warriors win in the paint in this one tonight. And the bench as well, with contributions from Moses Moody and Gary Payton, along with Kevon Looney. A 10-13 game for Looney, doing his thing, making up for a lackluster performance from Trace Jackson Davis. And the Warriors needed Looney when they lost Draymond Green as well in this one. So some key contributors off the bench. Again, it felt a lot, even deep into the third quarter, as if the Warriors are going to lose this game. They're in a little bit of trouble even early in the fourth quarter with the game tied, and then pulling out to a 4-point lead, and Jordan Poole's banking in threes. I mean, Poole was just chucking in this game and cooking. I mean, he was cooking the Warriors. He had 23 of his 38 in the first half, as we mentioned. Kuzma was doing his thing. Sarr had 11. I mean, Carrington had 17. And it just, it felt like the first game after a long road trip, get-back game, felt like a game where everybody's kind of watching football all day. And with the 5:30 tip, just a game that, had the Warriors been playing better basketball overall, you would write off as, you know what, just one of those games where sometimes you got to win games with your offense because your defense is a little bit lackluster. But it's a win. It's a better than the alternative kind of a win. But it's a win that puts the Warriors right at the halfway mark of the year with a record of 21-20. This team has earned their record in every sense of the word, whether it's been the inability to close out games, whether it's been the inability to be productive offensively down the stretch in games, or just have a consistent secondary score. I mean, all of the things that you figured would be problematic for the Warriors in this first half have been problematic for the Warriors. Still too dependent on Stephen Curry after the 12-3 start, which has led them to the road of now 9-17 in the 26 games that have followed the 12-3 start to get this team back to 21-20 at the exact halfway mark of the NBA season. So 808 KNBR, 415-808-5627. It is John Dickinson here with Dubs OT with JD. Let's say hey to everybody in the YouTube chat here. A lot of folks chiming in here, a lot of the regulars, and including some jokes here. Estimated eyes, who are they playing? Enter the Draymond, ready for a win. A debate ensuing early in the YouTube chat about Jordan Poole, which was what that was something we discussed a little bit on Just Dubs this morning. Just how do you view the Jordan Poole trade now? I still think it was the right move at the right time, considering the fact that the Warriors had to pick between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, and you were going to pick Jordan Poole, or you were going to pick Draymond Green every day of the week in that instance, given the level that he was playing at. Part of the reason why Jordan Poole struggled so mightily, in my mind, was the punch. But again, are you going to send Draymond Green packing at a point in which you just paid Jordan Poole into the 9 figures in terms of overall compensation? Or are you going to look to get off of that? They got off of the money. They bring back Chris Paul. And then you look up and they don't. And I think the thing that they should be chastised for the most is the inability to look to use the Chris Paul contract in an attempt to acquire another player and keep that salary slot moving forward. They chose to get under the apron. They ended up, rather than maybe going and getting a Zach LaVine or somebody like that, found themselves under the apron, which freed up other things that they could do. Basically, that decision, moving off of Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, not using Chris Paul's salary slot, getting themselves under that first apron, and then eventually hard capping themselves at the first apron. It wound up being Jordan Poole for DeAnthony Melton, Buddy Hield, and Kyle Anderson. I feel like in many ways, and that hits a little bit different, I think, now as this team sits here at 21-21 than it may have as the team that got off to the 12-3 start, with DeAnthony Melton and Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson all being key contributors to the Steve Kerr 13-man rotation that was so successful and people writing about it all the time in the early part of the year. So what do you make of the Warriors at the midway point? That's another question we can get into here in the YouTube chat and on the phone lines, the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line as well. Alpha chiming in as this game goes final. Good win, JD. Hopefully Steph is okay. Yeah, it looks like Steph is going to be okay. Draymond is the concern. I guess when you're 20-20 after you were 12-3, any win is a good win. But, man, as far as I kind of, and Kyle Har's in our San Francisco studio, so bring Kyle in here a little bit. And I'll ask him. I mean, really 2 out of the last 3 games, Kyle, this game felt very much to me on the winning side like the Raptors game felt on the losing side, where you think the Warriors are going to win as they start to maybe pull away early in the fourth quarter, but it really doesn't give you a whole hell of a lot of confidence that they're cooking with anything that has any semblance of the ability to really dictate some kind of change off of what this team's been the last 2 months, really, in the second half of this season.
Yeah, I don't think I ever thought to myself that they were going to lose the game, but when they started to win, I was like, this doesn't feel like a good win. But you know what? I think they were watching a little bit of the Commanders Lions game, because there was no defense in that game.
No defense in the Commanders Lions game, and no defense in the Warriors Wizards game. And incredible the way that both of those games played out, especially the NFL game. I mean, that stole the show, especially the first half tonight. There wasn't a soul in Chase Center that didn't have at least one eye on what was going on at Ford Field with the Commanders and the Lions. And so, yeah, I mean, you look at the way it felt like the game played out that way too. But I'll say this, Kyle, I disagree. Like I absolutely thought, well, 100%. I didn't start typing like talking points or notes or anything like that, but I 100% thought, well, if they lose this game, they truly are cooked. Like it was one of those brink of, and I don't want to go as far as to say I thought it was going to happen, because there wasn't a point where I thought, oh, they're losing this game, but there were multiple times in this game, Kyle, where I thought they're playing bad enough to where they could lose the game. And wow, that would be the shut it down for the season, I think, conversation right back at you again in full force.
Yeah, I think, I side with you. Yeah, I don't think I ever thought they were going to lose, but I was like, if they do lose, and there is still that possibility with the way Jordan Poole is playing. I was like, if they do lose, we're definitely cooked if we can't beat a 6-1 Wizard team.
Well, and on top of that, you look at Jordan Poole annihilating them and doing it, right? If it would have taken Poole ended up with 38, but imagine the headline of Warriors lose 128 to 122. Imagine that headline with Jordan Poole scores 48 in Chase Center. I mean, that just would have been nightmarish like stuff as well. Yeah, come on in. You take a picture. You want to say hi and get? You want to say hi and get on the screen? Hi, how are you? What's your name? Jean. Okay, like the pants. Okay, Jean like the pants. Hi, Jean. Nice to meet you, Jean like the pants. Appreciate you listening. Stop by and say hi. Come on over. Come on over. Oh, yes. Appreciate you. Come on over. What's your name? Appreciate you. Come on and get in there. Wonderful. Wonderful to meet you both. Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's on like a 45-second a minute delay, but you'll get it. Not even that. Okay. Modern technology. The delay is coming back. So, yeah. No, thank you very much. Again, it is our Dubs OT devotees here, Kyle. I will interrupt the show. I know there's a few curmudgeons on the text line that hate. It's not even a few. It's one. Stop talking to the fans. JD, stop talking to the fans. We love. We got our guys watching he's like showing me his phone with the YouTube stream up. As we've got the wonderful couple, I didn't quite catch with the headset on the gentleman's name, but her significant other or his significant other, Jean, like the pants. We appreciate them all here for jumping in and stopping by and saying hi here on the Sports Leader. So 808 KNBR 415-808-5627. It is Dubs OT as the Warriors beat the Washington Wizards 122 to 114. I got to get out of that hypothetical mode. Let's go ahead and take a quick timeout. We'll come back here. Probably going to be a little bit of a truncated edition of the program tonight with the late start in the NFL. We'll get more in the YouTube chat. We will also get to our Sounds of Dubs OT with Steve Kerr. All in on the update as it relates to Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. So that's coming up as well right here on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.
This is KNBR, and this is Dubs OT with John Dickinson, streaming live on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
Draymond's going to get an MRI tomorrow, and Steph just told me he doesn't think it's serious, but they'll both be day-to-day for now.
All right, day-to-day, Warriors have a little bit of a quick turnaround as they play the Celtics coming up on Monday afternoon in the MLK holiday, 2 p.m. game. So quick turnaround there. That's one of the big national games. Celtics suddenly struggling. They got beat tonight by the Hawks at TD Garden, so that's going to be the first of a Western trip for Boston. They'll get on the plane tomorrow, come out here, and play the afternoon game against the Warriors. So day-to-day, I do think would put Steph Curry's potential availability for a Monday afternoon game a little bit more than 36 hours away at this point. It would be, what would that be? That would be about 42 hours away, I guess, at this point. But Draymond, I don't think Draymond, I would suspect, is not going to be playing for the Warriors on Monday afternoon, and probably not for a little bit, as he's had this calf thing pop up on him a couple of different times. We're back here on Dubs OT with JD as the Warriors do win over the Wizards, 122-114. 808 KNBR. Appreciate everybody watching on YouTube and Twitch as well, as the Warriors improve to 21-20 at the halfway mark of the season. And they'll be, as I mentioned, back in action against the Celtics coming up on Monday. More from the YouTube chat here as well. Rebel to Sound says Warriors woke up in the second half. Maybe I'm being a little too hard on the Warriors in the second half. They did find themselves down 60-53 in the first half. They did outscore the Wizards in the second half. They won both the second and third quarters and outscored the Wizards 69-54 in the second half to go from down 7 to win the game by 8. So am I being a little too hard on the Warriors? I don't think I am. They did a better job on Jordan Poole, I thought, in the second half, although Jordan Poole, 8 of 15 from 3, and he had a couple of threes rim out. The Warriors could have been down more at the half than they were, even at 60-53 in what they were trailing there. Again, Warriors sleptwalked through the first part of the game. Steph didn't take a shot in the first 6 minutes of the game. Warriors found themselves down by 4. Second quarter, Buddy Hield, some rough first half minutes. At one point, he was a -17 in the first half, and Buddy Hield ended up for the game a -12. So not much better. Only ended up playing the 21 minutes. Again, when Buddy Hield's not hitting shots, he a lot of times is not a playable player. But with the Warriors shorthanded, he finds himself in that position where he has to be a playable and available player as well. But yeah, Buddy Hield didn't have it tonight at all. And so Jordan Poole, again, he was within an inch of maybe having 29 at the half and having the Warriors down by double digits at the half there. But the Warriors found themselves down 7 at the break. Curry was kind of battling the injured right thumb at different points. There was a lot of back and forth and trash talk. I know Gary Payton II had mentioned it at Warriors practice yesterday that as a good friend of Jordan Poole, he and Poole would probably be going back and forth, trash talking each other during the game. Poole hit a 3, and then he was talking to the Warriors bench. I mean, he was real comfortable, and the bench having conversations, going back and forth while guys were shooting free throws during this one. But again, all in all, Warriors got a good Wiggins game in terms of his offense, 31 points. And when Wiggins does that and Curry can get his usual, then the Warriors typically win regardless of the opponent. Kind of a similar template as was on display against Minnesota, only with a lot crappier defense, as it turns out, for the Warriors in this one. But, yeah, good Schroeder games, good Curry game, good Wiggins game, and the Warriors with enough offense to stave off the Wizards in the fourth quarter of this one, as Stephen Curry with that ankle twist, again, officially day-to-day, limping. He was trying to test things out and work it out a little bit on the bench, but ended up not coming back in the game. It was a 34-minute night for Steph Curry. There was 1 minute to go at that point, with the Warriors basically having the game in hand against the Wizards. So more from the YouTube chat to get into. Let's see. Sloppy start, enter the Draymond, but I forgive them, says enter the Draymond. A lot of people going back and forth talking about the Commanders-Lions game. What a stunner that was. Not that it was high scoring, but I think, what did it end up? 45-35? Is that what the final was? 45-35. I think a lot of people would have thought 45-35 might have been 45-35 Lions. Like, I think people wouldn't have been surprised if there had been a lot of offense in that one. But yeah, Joe Schmo saying he wanted the Lions to win. I'm pulling for the Bills. The Bulls are the team, or the Bills are the team that I'd like to see get the job done. Let's see. San Jose Jazz fan 4. Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, estimated eyes. I was watching the end of the game at Harmonic with sipping on a Kolsch that I got a little further down the line on the Kolsch than I typically get a chance to, because I knew we had the NFL game on the KNBR air feed. And yeah, we decided, I don't know, beginning of the fourth quarter, I think, that we were just going to say, you know what, let's just join this thing a little bit late, because the Commanders-Lions game was so bonkers. I mean, it was so crazy in the first half with all the offense and the back and forth. It was a lot more entertaining than anything was going on in Chase Center, even though there was just as little a defense. And so I thought, you know what, let's let everybody clear the deck. And if you have the two screens going, you were probably watching the Warriors and you were watching the NFL game. If you only had one screen going, I'm not going to blame you tonight. Our crowd in the YouTube chat's a little bit lighter than usual on this Saturday night. I can't blame anybody that had the choice, that chose the NFL divisional round of the playoffs with the number one seed having the potential to get upset in just jaw-dropping fashion with the way Jaden Daniels and the Commanders offense played. And Jaden Daniels is a rookie reaching the NFC Championship game after they pulled off the win in Tampa. So impressive stuff there. But it was I'm not blaming anybody that was watching the NFL tonight over maybe watching the Dubs. Rick Lemke giving Wiggins his flowers, and I, again, not reluctant, but a little late in giving Wiggins his flowers was I here in the early part of the show. San Jose Jazz fan 4 mentioned him. Draymond needs his rest, and Kuminga's trade value goes up whenever he doesn't play. I don't know about that one. I think Kuminga's trade value is pretty well locked in. Like, I don't view another team looking at how the Warriors play without Jonathan Kuminga and saying they would pay more for Jonathan Kuminga. Like, I don't think that necessarily. Now, maybe the Warriors are going to say we're less apt to make a deal. So if that's the point, Jazz fan, that you're making, I can understand that. And I think his value at this point is fixed. I think these Steph and Draymond injuries further reduce the likelihood that the Warriors do anything of consequence at the trade deadline, unfortunately, because, again, if you do give up assets and you bring players back and then you don't have Steph, or you don't have Steph and Draymond for a period of time, how are you going to win game? Like, who is this team going to beat without Steph and Draymond? They sure as heck are, and Kuminga, by the way, because he's still a week and a half to 2 weeks away. Because that was the one thing they kind of had in their back pocket a little bit, was when Steph and Draymond were both out, Kuminga would do his thing and he'd get his 25, albeit not always efficiently, but he'd get his 25, and they were able to win, a game against the Rockets earlier in the year, and they were performing all right in some of the games where Steph and Draymond were not playing. And again, I know the Warriors record, 5-3, I think, without Steph. On the season, might be 5-4 now, but they were off to a rousing start without Steph, and the ability to at least hold their own and tread water in not having him. But as it relates to the trade deadline, and I think that's a big part of the equation here, you look at this thing for the Warriors, and why are you going to invest in a team that might not have Steph Curry for a handful of games? Again, the flip side of that could be, well, you need to invest in that team, otherwise the season's going to completely get away. And obviously that's something that you don't want to have happen. But yeah, again, as far as the Kuminga trade value, I think that's an interesting debate as far as does it increase or not. Again, I think it 100% reduces the likelihood as the Warriors find themselves sort of unwilling to do anything of consequence. It makes them even less likely than they already were. And look, I do think the Warriors vacillated on potentially including Kuminga in a deal. I think if this team was 4 to 6 games over 500 right now, they would be more open to potentially doing it. And I don't know if you read or saw Jake Fisher and Mark Stein. They co-write for Mark Stein's Substack, but the Kings reportedly are the leaders right now in the clubhouse to get Cam Johnson. And everybody that's watched this show and listened to it on KNBR knows what a big fan of Cam Johnson I am. They had the leader in the clubhouse offer as Kyle Herter, Trey Lyles, and a first-round pick, one first-round pick for Cam Johnson. And I'm thinking, I mean, the Warriors really, I think you could better that deal immediately if you threw Kuminga in the deal. But at the same time, the Warriors, their view of Cam Johnson, it sounds like, is they think he's mid and doesn't help him significantly. But I mean, hell, I feel like you could better that deal potentially by offering salary relief and a second first-round pick and get Cam Johnson coming your way. And again, I think Cam Johnson's the kind of player that the deal is not just for this year because he has a couple of years left on his deal. I'm not going to get on a Cam Johnson rant again, but I was sort of struck by the notion that was the best deal. Kevin Herter, Trey Lyles, and a future first is, quote, the deal to beat right now. And again, the trade deadline's still a little under 3 weeks away. So, that gets leaked intentionally to start drumming up better offers from other teams. I know the Pacers and Cavs are in the mix, obviously, for Cam Johnson. But if you could get Cam Johnson for that little, I mean, again, I always have the joke about teams that try to trade guys they hate, they try to trade players that you hate or don't have a use for guys that are really good. I mean, that would be the quintessential deal. And I don't even know what the Warriors, what would the Warriors comp to that even be? I mean, Looney, GP, and a future first and 2 firsts, and Moody. Although Moody has some years on his deal, Moody's the tricky guy to trade because his deal changes because he signed that contract extension. But yeah, I mean, God. And look, Herter and Lyles can both shoot, so there is a value for Brooklyn if they were looking to potentially either ship those guys elsewhere or have them, just be a part of their team for the time being as you try to cobble together a roster that looks to complete a season. But I mean, look, if Sacramento can do that, then more power to them. I mean, that would be that would be a steal. Although, again, I do think, hey, what's going on? Appreciate you. I do think the Kings should be reluctant to give up too many future first-round picks, although they're feeling real good about where they are, winning 8 of the last 10 to get back to over 500 in the same record that the Warriors have here at 21-20, right at the midway point of the season, and they get their crack at Washington tomorrow in Sacramento on the second of the back-to-back. But, man, I was stunned, Kyle, to see that be the baseline right now for a Cam Johnson offer. I mean, what do you think of that? Like,
Oh no,
Give me a better offer. Give me what would the Warriors version of a better offer be? Is it 2 first-round picks? Is it Kuminga? Obviously, I mean, would be more young and raw talent. Kuminga and a pick plus the salary relief potentially. I mean, again, the Warriors aren't doing that, so I probably shouldn't even put Kuminga's name in there. I know even you, Kyle, kind of eye roll when I throw Kuminga in there just to even for the sake of conversation, but. God, that is just not a lot for Cam Johnson.
No, it's not. That actually surprised me because we brought up I think it was a stream only Dubs game, and we brought up a hypothetical trade, and it would be, would you either do Kuminga and a first or 2 first-round picks? And I said 2 first-round picks, and I think even that is better than getting Herter, Lyles, and 1 first-round pick. So I think if the Warriors, I mean, it doesn't sound like they're going to do it. But if they offer 2 first-round picks and some salary filler, I think that's easily a better offer than what the Kings are offering.
And again, the Warriors are on record as we're not giving up future picks, we're not giving up Kuminga. Like they're really reluctant to do it. Again, the Kings I think are more in that mode of kind of YOLO, even if it only would get them to a point where maybe they make the playoffs because of a deal like that. You know, whether it's via the play-in tournament or they suddenly have their sights, given the fact that they've played better lately under Doug Christie at not having to play in the play-in tournament. Maybe get to 5, maybe get to 6, and their latest trajectory would potentially allow for that. But that would be a hell of a move. And again, it was stunning to me, not that the Warriors are willing to even give up that much in terms of draft capital. I do think they'd give up the salary filler, obviously, that would have to make it happen and would have the potential to have those salaries be expirings if it was Looney and, say, GP2. So I think a Looney GP2 first-round pick offer would be better in the sense, or the framework of that offer would be a better offer. Just Brooklyn would want more salary relief in an attempt to try and be players in free agency, and they're one of the few teams, as we've talked about, that would have the ability to give Jonathan Kuminga a deal that might make the Warriors be a little bit uncomfortable in terms of an offer sheet that they would potentially have to match. So 808 KNBR 415-808-5627. Warriors win 122-114 as they beat the Wizards. It's 21-20. Still, I think, a disappointing first half to the season overall, considering the start that the Warriors were able to get off to, and where things kind of sit right now, stuck in the mud, stuck in the mid, I think, to quote Stephen Curry, with the trade deadline inside of 3 weeks to go, and a scenario now where you may have Draymond Green and Steph Curry out for games against the defending champions here as soon as Monday afternoon in the building that sits behind me. All right, let's go ahead and take another quick timeout. Good conversation. We'll come back. We'll get some sounds of Dubs OT. We'll also reset things in the YouTube chat and look ahead a little bit toward Monday as well, with the Just Dubs this morning and the game coming up on Monday and everybody watching football. A little bit of a truncated edition of Dubs OT tonight, but we'll come back. We got fun with numbers as well here straight ahead. And, San Jose Jazz fan says he's coming to Harmonic on Monday. We want to see you at Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City Monday for Dubs OT, our meet and greet, our in-person live show, YouTube only. Come watch the Natty here at Harmonic in Thrive City, as it is Dubs OT with JD, the sports leader.
KNBR presents the sounds of Dubs OT.
I can see the headline now. Kerr says Warriors better without Curry.
No class, no balls.
I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here, off the court.
Now here's John Dickinson.
Okay, that's a great intro. Kyle was saving it for me. He didn't let me preview it because, well, he wanted me to react in real time to it. And, yeah, that is an awesome intro. Our new Sounds of Dubs OT intro with Greg Silver, a part-time contributor to the show now. It was Sounds of Silver. We decided to make it Sounds of Dubs OT, which means we retired the Sounds of Silver intro, which was great. And you can still obviously hear Sounds of Silver with Papa and Silver 10-2 here on the Sports Center. That's a great intro. That Kyle, I'm giving you a standing O here at Harmonic. Cheers to you for getting that put together, sending the right clips to the voiceover guys and getting everything worded. Job well done, my friend. Job well done.
Yeah, I knew I had to add the Michael Malone "no class, no ball" sounder like that. That's a JD favorite.
It's got to be in there. So you used a lot of the favorites. The Jimmy Butler. Good stuff. Excellent work, Kyle Haar and the fine production staff at KNBR. All right, final. I don't know if it's a final segment. We'll see how it goes. But it is time for Sounds of Dubs OT. We'll get more from the YouTube chat as well here. Before we call it a night, Warriors win over the Wizards, 122-114, the final. So they're 21-20 at the halfway mark of the year. All right, let's dive in. Let's hear from Steve Kerr, as we do typically at the beginning of this segment nightly. And here's what the head coach had to say about Andrew Wiggins, who has been bringing it here much more regularly of late.
Andrew's great. He's been playing at a really high level all season. And, the way things have evolved the last couple of weeks, we've just really leaned into his scoring. So we're, trying to get him on the floor for all the non-staff minutes and, running a lot of offense through him. And he's doing a lot of good things for us, scoring in multiple ways. And tonight, the way he rebounded and, just played the total game. He was fantastic.
Yeah, and Wiggins with the 31 tonight. That is looking at Wiggins. I'm saying, was that a season high for Wiggins tonight? He had 29 against the Clippers in a game the Warriors lost. Did he have a 30? I don't think he did have a 30 looking through the game log. No, season high 31 tonight for Andrew Wiggins. And of late, it was 24 at Minnesota. It was 20, although he faltered some down the stretch at Toronto. But he's been 18 or more every game here the last 2 weeks for the Warriors, except for the one clunker in the game against Miami. But, Andrew Wiggins, somebody's got to at least attempt to be the number two with Kuminga out and the Warriors so depleted in having scoring anyway. And I think he's much more comfortable being a 3-and-D wing that can not have to be a focal point. But I think especially against the bad teams, a lot of the bad teams really have a hard time still checking and combating and Andrew Wiggins. And so the Warriors have needed more from him, and he has, not every night, but tonight he delivered in a way that they needed him to. All right, we mentioned the Draymond Green, Stephen Curry updates. This was a quick one. We played it a little bit earlier, but just to reiterate where things stand right now for Steph with the ankle roll and Draymond with the calf.
Draymond's going to get an MRI tomorrow, and Steph just told me he doesn't think it's serious, but they'll both be day-to-day for now.
So, again, good news on Curry being day-to-day at this point, although with the quick turnaround to the game on Monday afternoon, maybe I would put his question still, or his status in question some for that game against the Celtics on Monday afternoon. Draymond, I feel like we're not going to see for a while. Even if it winds up being relatively harmless, I think there's going to need to be a little bit of time for that calf to calm down, because you don't want the calf to turn into something more significant. You don't want it to turn into a legitimate strain or something that can lead toward an Achilles. And I know Draymond had said that some of the calf issues that he dealt with going back a month plus ago had really kind of scared him a little bit because it has the potential to lead to something far more severe. And at this stage of Draymond's career, obviously you don't want to have that happen. And so you have to be extra careful anytime you sustain some kind of a calf injury. So again, I'm not a doctor. I don't like to speculate, but I would imagine even if it's, hey, the MRI is clear, it's a relatively light calf strain, I think we might not see Draymond Green here for at least the next couple to a handful of games. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe the Warriors get good news there. All right, Moses Moody tonight. Second consecutive positive game for Moses Moody as he helped the Warriors beat Minnesota on Wednesday night. 13 points tonight, 2 of 5 from 3. With the Warriors so void of guys who can play the 4, not having Draymond, not having Kuminga, that means Moses Moody has got an opportunity to play a little 4. Guy Santos has got an opportunity to play a little 4, but Moody was playing the 4 some tonight. You talk about a small lineup, and Steve Kerr liked what he's seen from Moody, and it's not the first time.
Yeah, I mean, Guy obviously got the start, but Moses got the lion's share of the minutes just based on how well he played. And I think Moses really seems to thrive at the 4. That's a spot he's comfortable with, using his strength and then the ability to stretch the floor. I loved the effort and the energy from Moses tonight. I thought he played a huge role in that game, just with the force that he came out with.
The problem with that is Moses Moody's 6'5". And so, I mean, you really want Moses Moody to be a wing or a guard. But the problem is he truly is a tweener at that position. Some matchups, and I think that truly is, and I've said this a lot, and people who have followed this show and watched it and listened to it on the via podcast or on KNBR, some nights Moses Moody in the matchup is a 2, and there are other players who play the 2 who find themselves in front of him on that night, Podziemski, Buddy Hield, whomever. Some nights they view him more as a 3, and I think his best spot to get the most minutes would be playing the 3 because the Warriors only have one true 3 on the roster, which is Andrew Wiggins. And, they've got a glut at the 4 with Draymond and then Kuminga and then Kyle Anderson, who doesn't get a lot of run in part because they're so Draymond and Kuminga dependent for obvious reasons. And so he winds up being the odd man out. But there have been times where Steve has used Moody at the 4 in certain matchups, and he's been successful at the 4 in those matchups. But it just continues to create the conundrum that you don't want to have because the Warriors at their worst often are deemed to be too small. And Moses Moody, a 6'5", is too. It's one thing to have Draymond basically at that height or roughly about it, playing the position or even playing center at that position. There just aren't minutes for Moody to play the 4 when this team's got everybody in tow. And so, again, Moody, even on a night, I hate to be the negative guy on that one, but Moody on a night where he plays well, it's like, oh, well, he plays well at playing well at the 4. He likes the 4. His strength fits at the 4. The fact that he can almost be a stretch 4. Well, he's 6'5". Like, if he was 6'8", he'd be playing all the time. And if he's 6'9", we'd be having a completely different conversation. So I think it's tough for him to be to see minutes at the 4. But tonight he contributed. And, again, with as many players as the Warriors have out, it's a scenario where he gets an opportunity to play, which has been lacking. And, look, Moody was really struggling before the Minnesota game. So to see him get the opportunity 2 straight games and have it help the Warriors win, I think is a major – it's a major net positive for him. It's a major net positive for the Warriors all told. All right, let's continue here with sounds of Dubs OT. Warriors win over the Washington Wizards. And let's keep it rolling with Dennis Schroeder. I think the best offensive game that Dennis Schroeder has had to this point. Is Dennis Schroeder getting more comfortable? Well, he discussed that in his post-game press conference.
I mean, it's a different type of basketball here, and I love it. I love the challenge. Never played that way, but they want me, to be aggressive and be myself. And but sometimes you just think about, Steph Curry, Hall of Famer, Draymond Green. I always play the right way, so I want to get them involved as well. And I think it's just, get to learn all those guys, keep, building that team chemistry on and off the court, and feeling comfortable. And I think I'm going to get there very soon.
All right, well, that's a little sign of optimism, because I think to this point, Schroeder's helped the Warriors win a couple of games, but overall he's been a disappointment. Can he fit with Steph? Can they find the right combinations for him to play without Steph to where he can be effective and you can maximize his time on the floor? Schroeder's too good of a player to have it look as inconsistent as it has to this point during his time with the Warriors. So he says they're figuring it out. Good sign. Steve Kerr has said he thinks they're figuring it out. Good sign. But I think an aggressive, looking to score Dennis Schroeder is huge. And the Warriors were able to get that in this game tonight to the tune of 14 field goal attempts. On this Warriors team right now with Kuminga out, and it's basically Steph and Wiggins and Schroeder. Schroeder should be the guy who takes the third most shots. It should be Steph right now and Wiggins. It should be Kuminga when he's playing, and then Schroeder. Those are the guys who should be taking really the bulk of the shots and making the bulk of the plays for the Warriors. So his comfortability, I think, is important here moving forward. All right, let's hear one more from Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins. Oh, no, it's GP2. My bad. Yeah, it's GP2, but GP2 is talking about Andrew Wiggins. Thanks, Kyle, for getting in my ear here. GP2, and GP2 coming back. Second game back for him. Another night where he had a positive imprint on the game. Plus 11. Really, the best plus minuses tonight for the Warriors. Plus 13 Looney, plus 12 Moody, who we've singled out, plus 11 GP, and then Steph and Schroeder, as well as Andrew Wiggins, were others in the plus side. So here's GP, podium game for him as he makes his return to the Chase Center hardwood, first home game since Christmas for Gary Payton, and he gave his thoughts on Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew's just being Andrew. He started the season just like how he's doing it now. With guys in, guys out, he steps up to the plate, and he beats himself. So that's what we like to be tonight. He was ultra aggressive tonight. I can tell because he was tired coming out, and he usually, got a little extra left, but he emptied the tank tonight, and we needed it.
Yeah, he did, and they needed it 100%. Hey, have a good night. Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi here at Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City. And the Warriors need more of that, as we talked about after we played the Steve Kerr cut from Andrew Wiggins. They're going to need it Monday. They're going to need it Wednesday. They're going to need it. They need it every night. They need it every night when Kuminga's back. If this team's going to make some semblance of a run, they need it every night. If Kuminga's going to be out, especially. And look, good luck if Steph Curry's going to be out here for a period of time. Although, again, some of those with Kuminga playing, the Warriors have actually won some games without Steph, so I shouldn't completely dismiss that here moving forward. All right, that's going to do it for Sounds at Dubs OT. Let's go ahead and take one more timeout, Kyle, and then we'll come back and we'll do fun with numbers, and we'll close things down in the YouTube chat as well. A couple of text messages on the Golden State Lumber Building Materials text line. As the Warriors do get the win, they improve to 21-20, and we'll set the table for what's coming up here the next week, as the Warriors have an extremely busy week, which is going to begin with the afternoon game on Monday. Warriors win at 122-114. It's KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
This is Dubs OT with JD. Presents the Sound Out for Fun.
I'm a fun guy.
With numbers.
No, I'm just having fun.
On KNBR 104.5 and 680. Streaming live on KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
All right, final segment. Warriors win 122-114. Unimpressive victory, but a victory nonetheless. They live to see Monday afternoon against the Boston Celtics on the MLK holiday. And again, a reminder, we'll be out at Harmonic Brewing here in Thrive City, as we are after each and every game here on KNBR. 2 o'clock tip-off. And we're going to be here before the game and after the game. 12 to 2, I'll be out at Harmonic doing the show with Dieter Kurtenbach. We'll be on at 10. I'm going to be over here from 12 to 2. And then on after the game, our YouTube-only show, our fan show, our meet and greet, stop by, get on camera. Greg Silver's going to be at the game and going to be joining me here from Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City as well. After the game, come watch the national championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. And yes, for those wondering and asking, the JD tab will be open. San Jose Jazz fan. Kyle, are we going to see you, by the way? I forget. Did you have plans on Monday? I know sometimes with the YouTube only, you kind of have the option to get a little respite. Are you coming out to Harmonic on Monday?
I'm stuck here.
Oh, you're in studio.
I'll be in the studio. I'll be in the studio.
You have to like run the shows and everything else.
Yeah. I think I'm going to run.
Are you running our show? Are you going to? Because we still, or maybe not.
I think I'm kind of going around. I think I'm doing a little bit of national championship, a little bit of cutting sound for the Warrior game, a little bit of going into the stream.
Oh, Kyle, we owe you. We owe Kyle. We owe Kyle a night out. At some point,
I'll take 4 beers to go.
Yeah, you want a growler? You want to? Yeah, you. Well, all right. We'll get you. We'll take care. San Jose Jazz fan 4 will take care of take care of Kyle Howard. We're gonna get you out here. I know we don't have a lot of YouTube after Monday. We don't have any YouTube only. I don't think for about 2 months until the Giants get going. In earnest, and we'll have a handful of YouTube only when the Giants are playing and there's a conflict. But we got to get and Kyle really, with Greg shifting to the 10 to 2 show and co-hosting and helping to produce along with Walter on that show, Kyle really is. We can get Cole LaPelt in for a night, right? Cole's up to speed. We could get Cole in. We could get Cole in studio, because Cole's actually been out here at Harmonic and said hi before with like his whole family. Like I met like Cole's parents and his sister, and like it was fun. Hey, how you doing? It was fun. So we'll get you out here one night. We'll get Cole in there and get you out here one night.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. And
so yeah, especially if you have to work on Monday. Like that is, yeah, no doubt. All right, final segment. FL Dubs fan in the chat, Wiggs took over. He decided the lane was his, and it was more arguing between Heald and Moody, or more precisely, Heald and anyone. Yeah, somebody mentioned that in the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line, the fact that there was an incident with Heald and was it Heald and Moody? Was an incident.
Heald and GP2.
Heald and GP2. Okay. That's what I thought. I thought it was GP2, but there was the FL Dubs fan and also somebody in the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line that had said Moody. But yeah, Buddy can be a frustrating teammate. I think that's safe to say. AJ Cruz, what's up, brother? Appreciate you. A lot of football talk in the chat tonight. Respect that on a night where the 1 seed in the NFC is done. The Detroit Lions go down. Jaden Daniels, the Washington Commanders, hand the Lions an L. I'm not going to lie. I was pulling for the Commanders tonight. I don't. Kyle, you're a cow? Are you Cow guy? So you were rooting for Goff because you're a Cow guy.
I was.
I kind of sensed you were a little down. I was like, man, I think Kyle was rooting for the Lions. I was kind of like, why? And then I was like, I know, Kyle's a Cow guy. So it's all right. So I felt kind of bad because I was a little like, as we were getting ready to start the show, I could tell I was like, yeah, Commanders, give me that Commander. Like I was really pulling for the Commanders. And Kyle was kind of like, oh, like he was kind of bummed. So anyway, I get it. I understand it. I respect it. All right. Fun with numbers here on Dubs OT as the Warriors get the win. Yeah. Wizards were incredibly hot from three. Andis mentioned that 13 in the first half for the Wizards from 3-point range. They hit 9 in the second half, still finished with 22 of 45, and that was a big part of the reason why this game was close. Jordan Poole hit 8 of the 22 on 15 attempts in this one. But the Warriors do prevail 122-114. So that's 2 straight wins for the Warriors, 21-20 at the halfway mark overall, and 11-10 at home. They've played one more home game than they have away games at this point. They're going to play a lot of home games coming up here over the course of the next couple of weeks. Warriors have won 7 of the last 8 against Washington, including 6 consecutive games against the Wizards. Wizards haven't beaten the Warriors since March of 2022, which was during the Warriors' championship winning season. So everybody kind of forgets that even happened. But the Warriors sweeping the Wizards at each of the last couple of years and then winning the game tonight, 122-114 to sweep the season series again with the Warriors winning back in early November in Washington, D.C. Warriors are, believe it or not, Kyle, we might need a breaking news sounder for this one. Breaking news sounder for this one. I mean, maybe not. If you can't find it, it's okay. It's all good. The Warriors are 500 in clutch games. They're 500 in clutch games officially tonight. I don't know. I'm kidding. But tonight was their 26th clutch game of the season. And the Warriors, remember, started, I think it was 5-2, and then were awful in clutch games after that. I think they lost 7 out of 10 or 8 of 11. And the Warriors are now back to 500 in their clutch games, 13-13 in their clutch games. The 26 is the second most in the NBA. So they're rebounding in clutch games to improve to 500 on the year. Warriors, 3 players in double figures, at least 20 points for the third time this season. Warriors 2-1 in the games where they have 3 with at least 20. And the Warriors 20-4 this season when leading after 3 quarters. I thought it was important the Warriors got that lead going to the fourth because the Warriors don't win when they don't lead going to the fourth. And they had it. So it was a 2-point lead, and they end up winning it by that 8-point margin. 122 tonight. I mean, most teams win when they score 120 plus, and the Warriors end up with 122 tonight. They're 12-2 when they get 120 plus. And Andrew Wiggins, third double-double. Team high 31, 11 boards, second 30-point game of the season. I missed the other one, but a season high 30 for Wiggins. Fourth time he had a 30-point, 10-rebound double-double, and it was the first time he's done it with the Warriors. Steph, before leaving with the ankle injury in the fourth quarter with 1:05 to go, 26 points there. Draymond had 1 board in 3 minutes. All eyes on him as far as the injuries go. And Kevon Looney, you got to give Kevon Looney a nod tonight. 10 points and 13 boards, including 5 offensive rebounds. Warriors needed him on the offensive glass tonight because they weren't doing much offensively through the early part of this game, really. And so he was giving them, with the hustle, some second chance opportunities. And you look at Dennis Schroeder in his game, as Schroeder ended up with 20, which is the most points that he's scored since joining the Warriors. Previous was 17 2 weeks ago the previous high. His 12th 20-point game of the season. Again, his best offensive output in terms of scoring for the Warriors on this season. And Trace Jackson Davis, 15 boards, which were important. Warriors winning on the glass tonight, 55-44. The margin there for Golden State over Washington. So that'll do it. Kyle, some final thoughts to you, my friend, as I do a quick scan here of the YouTube chat, and we wrap things up on this Saturday. A little bit of a truncated edition, but we still made it to about an hour and 20, which I guess is light for us.
Oh yeah, no, still a fun show. Shout out to Cole, who was here helping me in the back. Even though we probably had 1.5 eyes on the Commanders-Lions game and half an eye on the Warrior game.
Yeah, it was, well, you and me both, brother. There have been, like, I am a big multi-screen guy, as you know. Like, sometimes I'll have 2 computers and an iPad and a couple of phones going, like, all at the same time, usually in the home studio with a couple of television screens also up on the wall in the home studio. Like, I will do that. I rarely, though, will go multi-screen on a night where there's a Dubs OT or I'm doing a Giants postgame. Because it's like, yeah, you want to lock in. You want to, it's saved for special occasions. And the NFL playoffs are a special occasion without question. I had the iPad going the whole night. On the Commanders and Lions. I even held the iPad as I walked over to Harmonic to set up. Like, it was like I didn't want to miss anything. And then Harmonic, I'm getting, like, Harmonic's got I think they have YouTube TV here. So I'm like looking at my delay streaming on the iPad versus their delay. I'm like, oh, did I miss a play? Like, I didn't want to miss any of it tonight. And so, yeah, tonight, yeah, and JD has a burner phone. It's not really a burner phone. It's not a burner phone. Andis, I'm gonna let you in. You can please respond, Andis. So the reason I have 2 phones is because, and a lot of people don't know this, we actually connect to the studio via an app. So I hook up the headset. So the video stream runs through the laptop when we're here at Harmonic to kind of peel the curtain back a little bit. So the YouTube stream runs through the computer, but the actual, like, over-the-air feed, which is also the same audio feed that goes to everybody on the YouTube stream. And sometimes if a switch isn't flipped, you guys on a YouTube only, you can't hear me. You got to use different cables for different things. Anyway, I don't want to bore everybody with it, but to let everybody behind the curtain, when I'm on the air via an app on a phone. So the 2 phones is because there literally has to be one that connects to the studio and connects to the headset that I'm wearing or connects to the microphone if I'm in the home studio or wherever we're at, to be able to get back to Kyle with the crystal clear clarity that you hear Dubs OT with here on a nightly basis on these sports leaders. So it's, I guess technically, Andis, it's still a burner phone, but yeah, I got to be able to get my texts and I got enough screens going on in front of me on this laptop to where I got to be able to, if I want to look at a text or scroll, or a lot of times the fun with numbers are on the phone. I'll have like a little, a bunch of notes that'll be typed up that we'll use there. So yeah, Andis, like, you can give me all the flack you want. We can laugh about burner phone and all of that. But yeah, the 2 phones, there's an app that we use that hooks into the phone that gets us on the air, actually, and allows me to pretty seamlessly and simply be able to connect to the studio and get on the air and have everything sound good, which is pretty incredible, modern technology at its best. But yes, that does mean that JD's got the phone that's going back to Kyle and the other phone that I got right here in my hand here for texts and calls and all the like. So great stuff, man. Appreciate Andis. Robert, appreciate you. Estimated Eyes, Rick Lemke, everyone's worst nightmare. Frank Weber, appreciate you chiming in here. Great show tonight. Final one of these where, the NFL is going to be going at the same time. We do have the stream-only show on Monday, so come to Harmonic, stop by, say hi. 12 o'clock, 12 to 2 before the Warrior game, and then 4:30 until whenever. There's no set in time, but at least 6 o'clock for the Dubs OT YouTube-only spectacular that will be going on out here at Harmonic. Love to meet everybody. I know San Jose Jazz fans in. If you can't make it, we will try to do another one of these between now and the end of the year. But, yeah, much love to everyone in the YouTube chat. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you Monday afternoon right here on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Wiggins on Kuzma, shot clock at 3. Wings with a step back 3.
Ball game. Emirates Cup or bust.
Oh, hell yeah.
First of all, you gotta start off liking each other.
I'm super cereal.
Big fat dub.
Ain't nobody going to stop me.
I just wake up and I can shoot it no matter if I'm playing or not.
But great win.
Who are these guys?
I love you, JD. Bye, sugar.
I can see the headline now. Kerr says Warriors better without Curry.